Scrum. What is Scrum? Scrum is one of the most common Agile lightweight frameworks that helps people, teams and organizations generate value through adaptive solutions for complex problems. In simple words, Scrum helps teams to work together in a more flexible way and faster pace, as it breaks big projects or problems into smaller deliverables. Now, let us dissect what happens in Scrum. There are three main elements to be covered in Scrum. They are the Scrum event, Scrum roles, and artifacts. First, let's look at the Scrum roles. Who is involved in the Scrum team? There are three main roles, which are the product owner, the Scrum master, and the developer team. The product owner is responsible for maximizing the value of the product. The Scrum Master is accountable for establishing Scrum, as defined in the Scrum Guide. They do this by helping everyone understand Scrum theory and practice, both within the Scrum team and the organization. The developers are the people in the Scrum team who are committed to creating any aspect of a usable increment in each sprint. Next, in Scrum, there are three artifacts, which are the product backlog, sprint backlog, and product increment. The product backlog is an ordered list of what is needed to improve the product. It is the single source of work undertaken by the Scrum team. The sprint backlog is composed of the sprint goal, a set of product backlog items selected for the sprint, as well as an actionable plan for delivering the increment. An increment is a concrete stepping stone towards the product goal. Each increment is an addition to all prior increments and has to be thoroughly verified to ensure that all increments work together. Finally, we have the Scrum event. The Scrum events are broken down into sprint planning, daily Scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective. Let's dive a bit deeper on Scrum events. Scrum events happen within a container event called sprint. A sprint is a short time boxed period when an Agile team works to achieve agreed sprint goals. Each sprint allows a team to plan and deliver outputs based on the desired functionalities and outcomes. Typically, a sprint could range between a week to a month. All the work necessary to achieve the product goal, including sprint planning, daily stand-up, sprint review, and sprint retrospective, happens within sprints. The sprint is kicked off with sprint planning. Sprint planning initiates the sprint by laying out the work to be performed for the sprint. This resulting plan is created collaboratively by the entire Scrum team. During sprint planning, the Scrum team will define the sprint goal, on what can be delivered within the sprint, and how it can be done. The product owner shares the vision of the product with the team and presents the product backlog. The developers will then deliberate which product backlog can be selected for the sprint and break them into development tasks as the sprint backlogs. Sprint planning is time-boxed to a maximum of 8 hours for a 1-month sprint. For shorter sprints, the event is usually shorter. Once the plan has been sorted, the developers will engage and synchronize in the daily Scrum, at a scheduled time and venue. They will have a brief conversation on what was completed prior, what will be done for the day, and whether there are any impediments to the project. This event will occur daily during the period of the sprint. Next comes the sprint review, which happens at the end of the sprint, just prior to sprint retrospective. This stage is where the developers will demonstrate the deliverables completed for the sprint to stakeholders. Other than that, they will also review the progress towards product goal, on what has been done and what has not been done. Here, the product backlogs are updated after discussing the changes in environment, as well as its impact, which may require adaptation from the team. Finally, comes the sprint retrospective at the end of the sprint. This is the stage where the team will reflect on itself and create a plan for improvements to be enacted during the next sprint to make the team's process and way of working more effective. They will deliberate on what went well in this latest sprint, the problems encountered, and if those problems were resolved or not. The discussion may also touch on the individuals involved, interactions, processes, and tools. That sums up all the elements involved in the Scrum framework. We hope this video will help you understand the whole process better. All the best in using Scrum for your Agile project.